the biggest fears that many of us have when we go live is not having anyone show up, right? So if you go live and people show up, then you're like wicked excited. You're like, okay, I'm going to go. You talk, and you notice the viewers they're going up, they're going down, and you start to wonder to yourself, am I talking too long? Am I talking too much? Are they not interested in what I have to say? Should I shorten this? Should I stop talking? Should I maybe talk about something different? And we can start getting into our heads a lot while we're live. And often how long we go live for depends a great deal on how we're feeling at any given moment. Another issue that comes up with going live and how long to go live for is many people don't go live because they feel like they have to go live for very long periods of time, or they have to go live all of the time, or they have to go live a specific way. And today what we're really going to talk about is the fact that the wonderful thing about live is that once you have a few parameters down and a little bit of an understanding down of like how live works on the platform, then you get to decide a lot of these things for yourself. And there really are no wrong answers. The key is really identifying two main things. One is what works for you personally, like what works for you, your schedule, your life, the things that you're doing, your business, that kind of thing. And then the other part is what works for your audience, right? What works for the people that you're talking to. For example, when I used to sell LuLaRoe, and there were people who would, and I know that people still do, they go live for hours and hours and hours on end. Like I'm talking like 6 or 7 hours. And for me, like I used to watch those people going live for that many hours, and I would feel really, really intimidated because I couldn't go live for that long. I don't have that level of stamina. I get, I get tired really easily. I get brain fog. So like after about 45 minutes to an hour, I'm kind of done in terms of what I could do for a live. So I'd watch these people going live for like 6 or 7 hours, and I was convinced that I would not be able to be successful in whatever it is that I wanted to do simply because I wasn't going live long enough, right? I had this belief system that because I wasn't going live long enough, that people were not going to watch, people were not going to buy, people were simply not going to be interested because I thought that's how long that it took. On the flip side, I have seen people go live for like, 5 minutes, 2 minutes. This morning I went live for about 4 minutes, right? And no one showed up on my live for 4 minutes, right? But I didn't mind that people didn't show up because I was going live for a different reason. So one of the key things that you want to really be thinking about before you go live is what is your purpose in going live? Hello, Susie Bowers. Okay, so that is what we're going to be talking about today. We see people coming in now. Welcome. I'd love to get some thoughts in here. How long do you usually go live for? And you know what else I'd like to know, if you're curious, hi Dede, is how long do you think you should go live for? Good afternoon, Lori. Because I'm curious to know how long, because like there's two different things. There's one, how long do we go live for? And then how long do you think you're supposed to go live for? Because that does have a huge impact on how long we actually go live for. And it's tough, right? Because if you're somebody who is maybe, you have social anxiety, maybe you're an introvert, going live takes a lot out of it. It can take quite a bit out of you. And the idea of going live for a really long time might prevent you from going live altogether because it's just like, oh my gosh, I can't. So today we're going to talk about how long you need to go live, and it's going to piggyback on a little bit of how many times you need to go live. And then we'll talk about how to make your lives feel like they're taking less time by using BeeLive. All right, let's see what we have here. We've got all right, let's see what we've got. Okay, we've got 20 minutes. Dede, love that. Okay, so I want to touch upon 20 minutes. Dede has a really great number here. So it takes the Facebook algorithm about 20 minutes of a live to optimize. So if you go live for at least 20 minutes, then you know that you've done what you need to do to make sure that Facebook has gotten the information that it needed to identify who is interested in this particular topic. So 20 minutes is a great number. I love that. All righty, let's see. And 1 hour live usually, Mary, yep, 1 hour live. That's pretty average for what I can cap off at 1 hour. I usually can't do much longer than that. I start to get really, really tired and exhausted. And the reason why I'm sharing like my metric in terms of how long I go live for is because it's helpful to get an idea of what the people that you're watching, like if you watch me live, how long do I go live for? How does that impact me? What are the things that go on in my brain when I am deciding how long to go live? Because that's the exact same process you're going to follow, right? I think one of the issues that exists in many, many trainings that exist out there about lives, they tell you the how, they tell you the what, they tell you a lot of information. But what they don't really touch upon is the part that happens in here, right? The part where you're making that decision and weighing your options and what are some of the things that you think about in that space, right? Okay. 1 to 2 hours I go live usually. I would love to do 4 hours as long as I'm selling. Oh my goodness, that is so much stamina, dude. More power to you. So here's the thing. If you have the stamina to go live for a long time, that's actually amazing, right? It's not bad to go live for 20 minutes. It's not bad to go live for 4 hours. It really just depends on your market or your audience. And I cannot stress that enough, because if you leave with nothing else from this live, I would love for you to leave with the knowledge that as long as you're using some of the parameters that we talk about, the length of time that you go live for is not relevant in terms of whether or not you're going to be successful. So you get to decide for yourself what that's going to be to ensure your success. Because I can guarantee to you, and this is true for everybody, if we go live, so let's say I say, well, oh my God, Kim and Chris are going live for 2 hours. That's amazing. Oh my gosh, I have to do that, right? I'm not saying that that's how I feel, but I'm just saying, like, I have to do that. Let's say I do. But I am not built that same way. What ends up happening is that I'm going to end up burning myself out on lives within the first 2 weeks. And then I'm going to stop doing live altogether for like 7 months. Whereas if I had gone live for like the half hour that I can go live, I could have gone live for that whole 7 months. That whole 7 months is actually where the success happens. It doesn't happen in those the month of lives that I did while I was trying to force myself to go live long, which is why it is so critical for you to pick how long you go live based off of what you want to do, what your goals are, not based off of what you see other people doing, being like, oh, well, she does this and she does this, and so I should also do that. Okay, I usually go for an hour or two. That's enough. Yep, an hour or two. Okay, I usually go live for an hour to an hour and a half, but I've been told that 3 to 4 hours are better. I just can't do it. I disagree 100%, completely disagree with that perspective. 3 to 4 hours is not better. It's only better if that works for you. If it doesn't work for you, then it's not better, because what it is going to do is, and I've seen this happen thousands of times, so it's not one of those things where it might happen, it happens, where if you force yourself to go live longer than you need to, longer than you are personally or physically capable of doing, you will burn yourself out and you'll become resentful of going live, and then you won't go live at all. Part of the beauty of live is that it helps when you do it consistently over time. It doesn't help if you do it in a burst and then you burn out. So Chelsea, you're spot on, dude. You're doing the great job. I love that somebody gave you that feedback and you said, dude, I understand, but I can't. So I'm hoping that by hearing this, I don't know if you were feeling guilty or like you should be. I really hope, because the way that you phrased, I just can't do it. I hope that you recognize that you're doing the right thing, and that the fact that you just can't do it, that's totally fine. I just can't do it either. And I wouldn't. If somebody told me I had to go live for 3 or 4 hours to be successful, I'd pick something else to do. I can't go live for 3 to 4 hours. Some people can. And if you can, again, fabulous, right? There's nothing wrong with it. I think 1 hour, 35 to 45 minutes is great. Yep. Love it. Alex says, I've had close to an hour live, but then last week I had a 30-minute live. Yep. 30 minutes is good. So here's something to consider. I love this, Alex, about the 30 minutes and the 20 minutes that Dede brought up earlier. Keep in mind that your audience has a lot to do with this. Okay. Your audience has a lot to do with this. I don't know why I don't have anything here about who is your audience. All right. Well, let's see. The role of your audience. There we go. I don't know. I have so many things in here, and that's the one that I don't have. There we go. Okay. The role of your audience is really important, because like for someone like me, if you're going live for 3 hours, I'm never going to watch it. Never. Even if you have the exact information that I need to be successful, to hit my goals, to do exactly what I want, I'm still not going to watch your live if it's 3 hours long, because I will look at it and be exhausted just by seeing the amount of time. So it is so critical for you to know who is your audience. Excuse me. If your audience is somebody who is super busy running around all of the time, then your lives probably need to be shorter. So like Dede, for example. Dede, you still here? Yeah, I know Dede's here, but I don't have her comment on my screen. Dede, for example, her market is small business owners, right? Small business owners who are very busy running around. They're trying to get their business off the ground. They don't have time to watch a 3-hour live on something. So she goes short lives. And that's actually why I'm trying to learn how to get my lives shorter, because I know that your time is valuable and you're busy. So I am trying, for me, one of the things that I'm working on over the next 2 years, I think it's going to take me about 2 years to actually get to a place where I feel like, all right, I'm there, to speak less, right? To get more out in less words, to figure out more succinct ways of talking about things. Because even though I can go live for an hour, I would actually like my lives to top out about 40 minutes, because you're busy and I want to respect that time, right? Right now, the only reason they go longer is because I am still workshopping how to speak less, speak shorter. We're all learning, right? It's all part of the process. So it's critical for you to know your audience. If your audience is like, if it's, let's say you go live at 2 a.m. and you know that your audience is women who are, they've just had kids and they're sitting and feeding their children. Well, you've got a captive audience. You can go live for 6 hours if you want. They're going to sit and watch. So it's really important for you to know what your audience is capable of and what they like to do. Like, how do they like to engage with lives? And the way to know that is really to know also yourself. Like, what is it that you like to engage with? Okay. If I'm live selling for a show, 2 to 3 hours, fabulous, dude. So Jennifer Baptista has a lot of stamina. This is really key, a lot of stamina. Now, I love that you said this. If they stop buying, there's only so much I can talk about. We're going to touch it. We're going to touch upon that in a second. All right. Elise says that she sets her time at at how many hours? At 4 hours. Okay. Lisa says you have to enjoy it or it's no longer fulfilling. That is exactly right, Lisa. She hit the nail right on the head. If you're not enjoying it, your audience will also not enjoy it. And if your audience doesn't enjoy it, then they're not going to come and you're going to lose viewers. So now you're going live for an extended period of time, but it's not helping you because you're not having a good time. So your audience is kind of like, I'm not here, not interested, I'm out. Okay, Sarah tries to stick for 1 hour. Oh my God, Lisa, hold on. So Sarah's got an hour, and then right above that, we've got a comment from Lisa. Lisa is so far our marathon liver at 6 to 7 hours. Question for you. Facebook shuts you off after 8, right? It's after 8. I'm curious. It used to be 4, but now it's 8. Okay, let's see. Aaron, he just knocked that out of the park. 13 hours, dude. I can't imagine that level. I could not go. I would have passed out at like 1.5. I'm like, oh, I'm done. Fabulous. All right. Oh, this is interesting. Dede says, this is great. This is also about what are you going to talk about? Okay. This is another thing that influences your how long you go live for. What are you going to talk about? So for her, she cannot go live for a long time if it's business related, but if it's mindset related, she can go live for longer. Hold on. Who was it earlier? Jennifer Baptiste. Jennifer, you said that you go live, and then you keep going live for as long as you're selling. And if they stop buying, then you stop selling. Then you stop going live. Okay. So I want to touch upon those two things because that's really key. It is very important to know why you're going live, right? Why are you going live at any particular time? So this morning, for example, I went live for 5 minutes and my 5-minute live was this. Hey guys, I have a migraine. I'm really sick. I can't go live for my usual 1 hour because I go live in the social strategy squad. I go live every morning for an hour and we do mindset business and we do business development work, right? Today I couldn't because I was really, really sick. Like I was so sick this morning. I tried to get better. I just couldn't. So I went live for 5 minutes, legit, like in my bed with my hair like all over the place. Like I was like, hey guys, I'm really sick. 5 minutes. I was just like, I wasn't really fully awake and I was kind of not like I was delirious because I wasn't feeling well. And so I basically just went on and on about how my migraine went into my back and whatever, but it was a 5-minute live. Not a lot of people watched it, but everybody knew that I wasn't going to be live that morning. But if I had gone live with my sister, because Thursdays are our sister day, it would have been for about an hour. Now, if I'm going to talk about something mindset related, right? So like Dede said, talking about mindset, I can have like a 20-minute conversation with myself. So I can sit here and have a conversation with you about mindset. So let's say I'm talking about how long you need to go live for, right? Exactly what we're talking about right now. What I tend to do is have a list of topics available in advance that I want to talk about specific to this area. So today it was about who is your audience? How long do you go live for? What are the things that you're going to talk about, which apparently I forgot to write there. I had a few things that I wanted to talk about. Those things alone, I can talk for about 15 minutes without any interruption, without even needing any conversation, like just me by myself going live, right? Now, I know because we've been doing this for a long time together, all of us, that I know that we're all going to be here and we're going to have conversations and we're going to talk. So I know that my 15, 20 minutes is really going to be more like 40 minutes to an hour. Totally fine, right? But let's say nobody showed up, right? Let's say you guys just aren't even here. Nobody shows up, nobody's talking, or you're here and everybody's silent. For me, I could still go live and talk about that mindset thing for 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and get that out there so that I have the live stream that I did. And then I can go back and do my troubleshooting that I need to do. Okay, why didn't people show up? Did I create an event? Did I promote it? So on, which we've talked about in previous lives that I've done, and we will talk about again in the future. But there's many, many reasons why someone might not show up, but that would be a point at which I would troubleshoot. The key element here is what is your goal for the live that you're doing? If you're going live to sell and your live sales traditionally go 4 to 6 hours or 3 to 4 hours or whatever, right? For you, you know that when you sit down, that's it, that's your live. But let's say you're brand new in your business and you're going live to sell and your upline goes live for 6 hours. You're going to think that that is the amount of time that you should go live for. That's what you're going to see as the gold standard, is those 6 hours, right? And I want to encourage you to not do that unless you want to. Like if you want to go live 6 hours, fabulous, nothing wrong with that. But don't start with the idea that you have to go live that long. And here's why. This is one of the most important things to think about when you're thinking about lives. Lives are not just a thing that you do, right? Oh, I'm going to go live now. Lives are actually more of a practice than anything else. Think about it like running a marathon. That is exactly what a live is like. So if you have never run a marathon before, or 5K, forget a marathon. Let's just go for a 5K, because I ran a 5K and actually walked a 5K. You can't just get into a 5K and start running. If you don't exercise and you don't work out and you don't like, and you're not, haven't built your stamina up, you're not just going to be able to run outside and run 5 kilometers just like that. It takes stamina. You have to start by walking. Then I did a program called Couch to 5K, C to 5K. I loved it, right? It got me totally there. Did my 5K, checked that off my bucket list, and I was super happy. But I had to practice to get myself from walking for a half hour, then slowly moving myself to a place where I could run a 5K, right? But I had to practice month after month, day after day, walking, eating healthily, doing the things that I needed to do to build up my stamina to be able to run a 5K. A live is absolutely no different. It takes emotional stamina. It takes physical stamina. And even if you have those things in other areas of your life, you have to develop them for live streaming. So if I pick up a camera today and I go live, for most people, you're going to have to go live a short period of time to start, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. Then the next 2 or 3 days later, you go live for, 10, 15 minutes. Then, you slowly build up your stamina. A lot of people, when they're starting their lives, there is a vision that you have for what it is that you want to do. I want to do this live show, and this is what I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to sell about this, and it's going to take this many hours. And we start off as if we have that stamina already built in, right? Exactly as if we would if we ran outside and started to run like a 5K on day one. It will exhaust you, right? So this is important information to have for those of you who struggle with that. If you are the sort of person who you're a very extroverted personality, you've already in some ways built up the muscles that you need to be able to go live, and you are one of those people who randomly goes live and is able to go live for 7 hours nonstop for, the next 6 weeks, that is great, right? But, and the reason why I bring that up is because there's always someone on one of my lives who says, well, I can do that, so why can't everybody else? You are a statistical anomaly. Right? You are outside, that's great that you can do it, but you are an anomaly compared to what many, many other people experience when they first start going live. So the very first thing that I recommend is figure out what it is you want your end goal to look like and create a map to get there. So if you're like, okay, listen, I know that when I'm doing my lives routinely and consistently, I would like to be going live 3 times a week for an hour. That's what I'd like to do. Fabulous. Now build up your plan to get to that space. Right? When you decide what that is, okay, so I'm going to start by going live once a week for an hour. That's what I'm going to start with, right? Then you have to ask yourself, do I have enough viewers to go to a second time a week, right? Do I have enough product to go to a second time a week? Do I have enough time to create content to talk to go live a second time a week, right? Those are all the questions you have to ask yourself. Because if you say you're going live 3 times a week and you either don't have the customers, don't have the inventory, or don't have the content, you're going to get either bored or annoyed with it after 3 weeks and not want to do it anymore. So the key is starting with with your half an hour long and building content for it. Because you're not just building content, you're not just building stamina for going live. You're also building stamina for creating the content. You're building stamina for promoting the live. You're building stamina for a lot of things. And that doesn't happen right at that first live. But many, many people see that first live as the microcosm of what their business is going to be. And if they can't get that first live down for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, then, oh my goodness, I'm a failure. Okay, let's see where we're at, what we have here. Okay. So, oh my goodness, we have so many comments here. Okay. All righty. Marlene goes live on Sunday for 1.5 to 2 hours. Marlene is a really great example of building up your stamina on lives. So Marlene has been a client of mine for a few years now, and I have watched Marlene grow her business steadily over the last 3 years. As she actually might have been even longer than that. I'm not sure how long we've been together. That's the thing. I feel like I've known you forever, Marlene. But over the time we've been together, I have watched her grow her business and try out many different things. And she settled upon Sunday Lives a while back And now she does them routinely, but it took her a while to get to the point where she figured out like what she actually wanted to do in terms of what do I want to do for my lives? How often do I want to go live? And now it's just routine. And I can tell you, it's so funny because from where like 2 years ago when we are having totally different conversations now, right? The conversations we were having before, Marlene, were about when should I go live? What should I do? How should I sell? That kind of thing. Once you built your plan and you got there, now it's more about, okay, well, I have all these people on this live. How can I tweak it to make it better, more effective, get more people on? You're having different conversations in your business because you're already getting people coming in with your live streaming. Love that. Marlene, you're an amazing example of going live. Love it. Okay, I will be live as long as people are buying and we're still having fun. Absolutely. I love your hair, Sherry. Love it, love it, love it. Tina says, that's so hard for me to just talk to the camera. Absolutely, it can be. And so what I recommend, Tina, this is how I did it because I have terrible social anxiety and just generalized anxiety and depression. And, I just collect chronic illnesses. It's just fun. I pretend I'm talking to my sister. So I pretend that she's right on the other side. Snap a picture, like put a picture of somebody right behind if you want. But that was what I did first is I pretended I was talking to my sister and I pretended she was like right back there and like kind of like my eyes would look sort of like around the camera, just like whoop, around. And then after a while, I started to pretend that it was because my sister and I, what we used to do was like, she'd call me, we'd be in the car, or she'd be in the car, I'd be here. She'd get to the grocery store and she's like, I'm not going to be able to like talk. So you just talk for half an hour. And then when I come out of the grocery store, like I'll respond. So I just talk, right? And she just listen. And then every so often I'd be like, are you still there? She's like, yeah, I'm still here. I'm just shopping. Or she'd say something to let me know. But I pretend I was on the phone with her. So it's easy. You can do is you can like call somebody and put it on speaker and just put it down and mute them and then just talk at the camera. And like I never actually had to call her. I just opened up my phone. That's what I did. I'd open up my phone and just put it there to pretend that I was talking to her, or put in your earpiece so that you think you're talking to somebody. It's very helpful to use to play tricks on your brain when you're going live. Because your brain is very easily manipulated in these spaces. So when you start playing some of these tricks on your mind to give yourself a little bit of a bolster, it is super helpful. For the first year and a half that I went live, I had a lot of crutches. One of my biggest crutch, FYI, was this. First year that I went live, you guys all remember this. If you were in the squad at the time, you'll remember this. I always was talking about selling pens constantly. It was like a joke that everybody had. This is not a pen, this is a marker. So I was always with a pen and I was like always talking about selling pens. So anytime I was trying to do a demo of some kind, I'd be like, okay, here's it. I'm going to sell this pen, right? And the reason why was because I always had a pen in my hand. I use that as an example only because the pen was there. And the reason why the pen was there is because years ago, when I first started speaking in front of people, I would have to hold all my papers. I used that as like my crutch to hold me, to make me feel safe. It was my pacifier, like my little Care Bear from when I was a child, right? So this was my pacifier when I was a kid. It made me feel very safe, very comfortable. And so I would do that with my with sheets of paper that had all my notes on them. After a while, I didn't like how it felt having those sheets of paper in my hand. So then I started using clickers. So I had clickers in my hand. If you've ever seen me speak live on stage, you'll notice that I always have something in my hand, always. Sometimes it's a mic, sometimes it's a pen, sometimes it's a clicker. And if I don't have any of those things, I'll just be holding something random because having this in my hand makes me feel safe and makes me feel comfortable. It's a pacifier, makes me feel soothed. I don't need one when I go live anymore, but if I went on stage to speak like in front of, at a convention or something, those are some of you who've seen me, you'll know I have something in my hand every time, even if it's not if there's a clicker, I'm not like, if there's a PowerPoint that I'm not moving forward, I'll still have the clicker just because that way I feel like I have that support. So it's totally fine if you have certain crutches or pacifiers that you use to like soothe yourself while you're working through this. Very, very helpful to use those. So for me, this is all, I always have pens around. You'll always know when I'm having a bad day or a nervous day, or I'm talking about something new. Because I'll always have a pen with me because I'm uncomfortable about what I'm talking about because I'm still practicing and I'm still learning. And so this is what I use as my soother. So this is a good technique. And it may be something different for you, but whatever it is, you can use that. All righty, let's see. Okay, so Lisa, this is great. So Lisa says during her live, she takes 5-minute breaks to talk about life and how the day was for me and my customers. This is critical. This is absolutely critical. I want to talk about why people come on your lives, right? It doesn't matter what live you're at. People come on your live either to learn something or for community Okay. They usually come to learn something or for community or entertainment. Entertainment. Those are the three reasons people come on lives, right? Community, entertainment, or to learn something. So if you're not doing one of those three things, then people are not going to stay on your live, right? Even if you're selling, right? So now if you're a top seller in your company, or if you're a top seller in general, then that's not, you've already figured that part out. Again, don't worry about it. But for most of us, myself included, people come for those three things. They don't come to hear me sell things. You didn't come here today to hear me sell you something, right? So in fact, if I tried to sell you something right now, because that's not what I said the live was going to be, you'd feel you're a little hoodwinked. So that's why people come online. So the key thing to keep in mind is that if you want to keep strangers online, so even those of you who are top sellers, for you to get people who are new that are not already into whatever your product is or whatever brand it is that you sell or whatever your business is, right? If they're not into it and they don't know anything about it and they're just watching your live for the first time, they are not going to buy from you simply because you're selling the pen. They're going to buy from you because you say something that connects with them and they're like, oh my God, this is my person. Because otherwise they may decide they want the pen, but they may not want that pen from you. They may want that pen from someone else, right? Because let's say you didn't tell them enough for them to know whether they even like you or can trust you. They don't know if you're going to scam them. They don't know if you know what you're talking about. And so for them, if all they see you doing is selling, then all you're going to get is new people is the people who is the same people buying over and over again. Now, if you are somebody who struggles with getting new shoppers, then I want to recommend that instead of spending more time selling, I'm not going to do that. Instead of spending more time selling, what you're going to do is spend more time talking about things in your life, right? So for example, I just showed you my little Care Bear. How many of you guys had a Care Bear when you were little? And actually, what Care Bear did you have? Because I had Sleepy Bear. Hey, Sleepy Bear, see? He's really ghosty, chewed off his nose the other day. I'm super sad, but he still has a little heart on his butt. I have a picture of me carrying this Care Bear when I was 8. And I'm sitting in my mother's lap. I actually pulled that out and I'm going to put it on my Instagram later, of this Care Bear missing his nose, but then also me cuddling him when he was like brand new, like when he wasn't all ratty and broken. That's my pacifier, right? When I talk about this, some of you connected with me. Some of you thought about your own Care Bears. Some of you remembered your own childhood with your own Care Bears. That created a connection. That's the reason you're going to come back, because you can learn about live, how long to go live from a lot of different people, from a lot of different places. But you're making a choice to come here and learn from me. That's a choice. You're making a choice to come to BeeLive and learn here. So your audience, if they want to buy your version of a Care Bear, whatever it is, right? Your version of a Care Bear is a squid. Okay, you're selling this squid and you sell a lot of squids. If that's your version of the Care Bear, it's going to be the same for you. People are going to come, they'll see what you sell. They'll say, oh, hey, look, she's selling those cute little things. And the next thing they're going to want to know is she somebody I can trust enough to buy from? Or is she gonna screw me? I don't know, right? And you have to do something, anything, to let them know they can trust you. And the fastest way to do that is find something in common. Find something that makes you seem relatable, like a normal person. And that's everyday stuff. That's the stuff that's like, oh, here's my Care Bears that my dog ate. That's the stuff that I woke up today and stepped in dog vomit. That's life, right? I woke up with a migraine and couldn't work. These are all things that happen to us, and you connect with those kinds of things. So you will be able to keep people on your lives longer by interjecting conversations like this, even when you are training or selling, doesn't matter what you're doing, but interjecting value, education, entertainment, and community. And when I say community, what I'm talking about specifically is day-to-day conversations that you'd have with your friends that if I asked you about them and I said, hey, go live about this, you'd say, that's so boring. Like if I was like, talk about how Alex forgot to take the trash out, right? That sounds boring, but I could tell you the story. I don't actually have a good story about Alex taking the trash out. I have a better story about, I know, taking the trash out last week. Alex didn't take the trash out last week. And we both thought that, like I said, he said he would do it. I said, I did not say I said I was going to do it, but he thought I said that. Right. And so that was a whole conversation, but that's something that happens to all of us. Right. Big question for you guys. Big question, right? Today, I noticed that we have an open thing of deodorant. My husband and I use the same deodorant. We have an open thing of deodorant. And my husband opens another thing of deodorant because he sees the new one there. And the other one is like, there's this much left, right? But he'd rather open up the new one. And I asked myself, I said, is it a guy thing? Like, is it a guy thing opening up something new? Like, and it's in the fridge. You have his pineapple juice. It's like, there's this much left. He can still drink it, right? But he opens up a new one. And I was like, is that a guy thing? Is that a thing guys do? And I was going to ask, like, is that a thing guys do? I don't do that. I usually finish the first one before I open the next one. That's such a silly little thing. Honestly, it's like, it's so dumb, but it's so common and it's so normal. And I bet you anything, there's some comments in here about you saying that your husbands do the same thing, right? Because those are the things that people connect with. Exactly. Stories connect. Hi, Nancy, dude. Good to see you. Hello. Hello. I'm afraid if I talk about it, that will hurt my parents' feelings as they do watch. So Laura, I think that you can talk about things that you may not hurt someone else's feelings, right? So like me talking about my husband not, opening up new things, that's not something that would particularly hurt his feelings. So I would recommend talking, if that's what you're worried about, I would recommend talking about things that are different, right? So like, for example, this Care Bear, right? If there are things that you would like to talk about that are important to you to talk about that are related to your parents, that you may want to have that conversation, you may want to consider creating a smaller community for your VIPs or something that is specifically for that. Okay. I had a limited childhood. So here's the thing. You don't always have to, like, I used this as an example, right? So childhood toys may not be your thing. And this is very important. And I want to bring this up, not because I want to call anybody out or make them feel bad, but what you want to do is not look at this and say, well, that's not going to work for me because I don't have any childhood toys. So this one's not going to work for you. No big deal. Fine. Forget about that. How? Ask yourself this question instead. How can I make this work for me? Okay. So how can we? Or maybe you like gardening. Okay. So you talk about gardening. Maybe you're a cross stitcher. Maybe you did ballet for a year. Maybe you just love to clean your house. You just love cleaning your house and nothing makes you feel better than like cleaning. I'm thinking about that right now because right now, seriously, I want to clean my house and nothing will make me feel better than to clean my house. I'm like that. There are many, many things that you can talk about that are relatable on a day-to-day basis. I encourage you to think about the things that are important to you, things that you like to do, your hobbies, your activities, what you did today, the things you like to eat, the things you don't like to eat, stuff like that. That will extend your life longer. Right? So now let's go back to the question of how long do you need to go live for, right? And I'm going to go back to some of the comments in a second, but I just want to touch upon this really quick. 20 minutes is the minimum I recommend going live for if you were trying to gain traction, right? If you're just going live to tell your community something really quick, then go live for 2 seconds, no big deal. But if you are actually trying to gain traction, 20 minutes is your minimum. I would say 20 minutes to half an hour and then shut it down. No problem, right? So if you're somebody who's like, well, I'm just starting out, then I would start with doing a few 10-minute, 15-minute ones just to sort of get yourself used to going live, making it a little bit more comfortable, and then go into the 15-minute, like go into your 20 minutes to half an hour. And then honestly, if you just wanted to do 20 minutes to half an hour lives forever, totally fine. If you have a plan to grow more than that, you can. Allergy season. Okay. All righty. Okay. And something Shirley makes a really good point here. Talk about the good in it. I was raised by a poor single mom and learned the value of money. So showing this gives you a very, very different idea of what my childhood was like. We were terrified. My childhood was I grew up in Pakistan and we had money. We were feast or famine in my house. And I'll tell you, when I was growing up, we didn't have electricity a lot. We didn't have running water a lot. I lived in Pakistan. It was very dangerous, a lot. So I could tell stories about my childhood that, are not pleasant, but I'm picking things. I'm pulling out the things that are good memories. I'm pulling out the things that I love. Now, I love my parents. I had a great childhood, but I did have, let's face it, I grew up in a very violent space in Pakistan, in a very, very poor country. It was a very different life. But there's still stories I can tell, right? There's still stories that I can tell. Okay, let's see what we have. Okay, Care Bears were too expensive when I was growing up, but I did have one Cabbage Patch Baby. Dude, so Lisa, that's what's so funny about this story. We couldn't afford American toys. This was one of the only American toys that we would get maybe a handful, 5 a year when my dad traveled to the States for work. We couldn't afford American toys. All we had were Pakistani toys. That's why I held on to this Care Bear in fact, I have a lot of things that I saved because these weren't just things that you got on Walmart and were disposable. Things like this in Pakistan, you held on to and they become family heirlooms. You save them forever because no one has them. Obviously now it's different. The world's changed. The internet has made everything. But when I was a kid, that's how this played out. So I absolutely understand what you're talking about. I have a Sleepy. Oh my God, Deb, I love the Sleepy Care Bear. I wanted the Sleepy Care Bear. Wait, don't I have the Sleepy Care Bear. Sorry, I wanted the other one. The Rainy Care Bear, not the Rainy Care Bear, not the Sleepy Care Bear. I forgot that I had Sleepy Care Bear. Look, it's been a long day. All righty, look at that. Colleen has one as well. Oh my goodness, so many of you had Sleepy Time Bear. Sinclair says, oh my God, my husband had Tender Heart Care Bear. Tiffany had Bedtime Bear too. Okay, check this out. All of these comments came because I showed you my ratty old Care Bear that my dog ate the nose off of. Okay, this conversation extended because of that. So if you want to extend your conversations and you do have viewers, this is a really great way to do it. So we talked about, in order for you to deciding how long you go live. Okay, I just want to sort of do a quick I've been on Clubhouse too much. A quick reset here. First, 20 minutes is the shortest that you can go live to optimize. So the Facebook does its optimization work, right? So it takes 20 minutes for it to optimize. If you, as you're practicing, you can go live for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, however long you want. When you're practicing, that's really just to get you doing the thing. Don't worry about how great everything looks when you're just doing the thing, okay? Because at that point, you're simply trying to get used to it. However, if you want to maximize your chances of success, make doing the thing as easy as possible, all right? Literally as easy as possible. And I cannot tell you an easier way to go live than BeeLive. Legit, I will tell you, I don't go live without BeeLive at all. So if for any reason, like I'm on a computer that I'm like, oh, I haven't installed the thing, or BeeLive is resetting and it's almost always available. But let's just say for some reason it's not available for a brief moment. I don't go live, because for me, it's not worth the hassle. It's not worth the effort. It's not worth the time that it's going to take for me to figure everything out to go live without BeeLive. With BeeLive, it's just a matter of clicking the button. I go in, I dump my image in, I put in what I'm going live, I say when I'm going live, and it's done. It's super simple, super easy. And I can make myself look super pro. In the last, if you're the last live that we did, which is in the video playlist, you will find that there are, there's one about how pro do you need to look. And we talk about how you don't really need to look that pro. But if you want to look pro because it's going to make you feel more confident, then BeeLive's the way to go. Because otherwise you have to use other things to feel pro. And that takes a lot longer. I am lazy. Not going to lie. I'm lazy when it comes to doing things for my business. I want to do things as quickly as possible, as effectively as possible, and with as little hassle to me as possible. I don't like feeling uncomfortable. I'm very self-indulgent that way. I want it to be easy, comfortable, and fun, right? That's what I want. And so for me, I chose BeeLive as the platform that as my exclusive platform, because it gave me all those things and let me go live. So when a lot of people look at my business, it seems like I do a lot and I work all the time and I'm doing all these things. But the truth of the matter is that a lot of the things that I do that look the way they do happens because of the tools that I'm using. So you can make your life easier and make going live take less time for you by using a tool like BeeLive. And there's a ticker down at the bottom to show you how to get BeeLive. You can go to beelive.manessa.com and use the code HustleFree, and you will get 30% off of a plan. So here, the link just popped up in the comments for all of you. So feel free, go check it out. I cannot recommend it enough because it will make you feel like you're going live for less time. You know what it is? It takes the anxiety away because you're having so much fun playing with these fun little toys and tools that it seems less pressure, less intense. It's not like you're trying to impress people, because honestly, BeeLive impresses just by being there, right? And that's what's great, is that it takes the pressure off of you. The way that I think about BeeLive, and honestly, seriously, I know I promote BeeLive heavily, and it's because I love it so much. Like I only promote things I love so much. I always felt like BeeLive was like an imaginary friend. BeeLive is my imaginary producer who produces with me. And it makes, I swear to you, I remember sitting on the first time that I used BeeLive for it was like a big planned event that I was doing. This was when I was making the mistake that I was talking about earlier, where you're like, okay, I'm going to start going live and I'm going to have it all be perfect that first day. I'm going to plan everything. I did exactly that thing. And I felt really nervous. And I was sitting there and I thought, man, I feel like BeeLive is my producer. Like, I was like, I feel like I can actually talk to BeeLive. Though I do tend to, talk to myself. I did not talk to BeeLive. And as far as I'm aware, I haven't yet, but I did feel like I could talk to BeeLive. So, and because, by the way, actually, you have support open all the time. So if you really wanted to, you could talk to BeeLive, like right then and be like, oh, hey, BeeLive, how are you doing? And they'll probably respond too. So I recommend checking this out because if you are somebody who is asking the question, how long should I go live for? I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to get people talking. BeeLive has a lot of really great tools that we've talked about in our previous lives, and we will continue to talk about in our future lives, that will help you. It will help support some of the psychological reasons why we don't go live. It helps to support and answer some of the questions. Well, it helps to make some of the questions that we have about going live a little bit irrelevant, so it's not such a big deal for us. That's really what's important, because the truth of the matter is going live is a mental activity. You work yourself up into it, you work yourself up out of it. Like we've all done it. We've all had to go live and be like, well, I'm tired. Maybe I could go live tomorrow. I'm just not, my stomach's hurting. I'm just not going to perform well. We've all talked ourselves out of going live. What happens when you have BeeLive is that it becomes harder to, because it makes it easier for you to actually go live. And so you just press the button. Okay, let's see what we got for questions here. Okay. Alrighty. Yes. Okay. So Laura says, I was told that that a minimum of 2 hours or Facebook won't show you out. Okay. So that may or may not, I don't know how true or not true that is. It's not really true. Like Facebook optimizes you after 20 minutes. But if the length of time that you're going live does not, okay, let me back it up. I'm trying to figure out how to say this properly. I'm just saying it all wrong in my head. Here's the thing. The length of the live isn't how you get new people, right? So if you're saying that I want Facebook to show my live out to like all the people, that tells me that you're probably trying to get more people on your live, right? And if that's what you're trying to do, that's not the way to do it. The way to do it is to have shorter lives that have more content, like more value, more education, more community, more entertainment, right? More of those things. You will get more viewers from that than you will by going live just for 2 hours. So if you take somebody who's, let's say, having trouble getting viewers, and that person goes live for 2 hours, it won't matter. It's not going to help you at all. Whether Facebook shares you to 5,000 people or 200 people or 5 million or 10 million, it's not going to help you grow your business, because you're having trouble getting viewers in the first place. Unless you already know how to get viewers in the first place, and I don't know that that's your issue, I'm just saying in general, unless someone knows already how to get viewers, the length of time is not going to get you more viewers. And that's really important, because a lot of people go live for a long time because they're trying to get more people, because they don't know how to get more people. And so they think the time is what does it. Time is not what gets people on your live unless you already know how to get them on your live. Great, great question. Okay. Alrighty, let's see what Leanne just started using BeeLive and she loves it. It is so fun, isn't it? I love it so much. It's like Christmas. I feel so pro. Dude, come join us in the squad. We have a whole training in the squad about how to use BeeLive. Oh, here, if you want to join the squad. Nope, that's not the one. All right, I am just like clicking through all these things. You're going to have all these links in there. I'm sorry about that. There you go. Here's the squad. So let me tell you about the squad. Excuse me. We are going through renovations right now. I'd love to invite you guys to join us. If you want to see what it looks like when a coach basically decides that I'm renovating my business and I'm redoing it from the ground up, I'm doing that in the squad, and I'm sharing everything that I'm doing in there. So for anybody who wants to see what it looks like to take a successful business and be like, you know what, I think I can do it better, but in order for me to do it better, I need to dismantle it and put it back together. That's what I'm doing right now in the squad. So you can watch me dismantle a business and put it back together in the squad right now. So come join us. It's great. I'm having a fabulous time. And I know we have a lot of squad members in here who are also having a great time. And now they have a phone app. I know, right? So good. Okay. Alrighty. What else do we have here? So many people wanted to use BeeLive. You will not be able to use BeeLive with the Bomb Party app, but the Bomb Party app is, it's not out yet. So I would recommend just using BeeLive for now and then going to the app when it's out. Alrighty. The code is hustle free. So if any of you would like to join BeeLive and be part of our party, come join us. Use the code hustle free. You'll get 30% off of your plan. They have don't forget to join the support group. The support group is BeeLivers. Right after you sign up, you'll get an email that says, hey, welcome. And they'll say to join BeeLivers. Please join. It's such a great group. Keep an eye out for all posts made by Stephen Healy. The man is a BeeLive genius, and he has videos for legit anything you want to learn how to do in BeeLive. He has a video for. So he's really, really great. And then, of course, how do I get an interaction on my business page? By going live, dude. Letitia, going live. I am all about going live. Okay. They do, Alina. BeeLive answers chats like really, really fast. I've always been very impressed. Okay. So, oh, this is a really good question, Sinclair. Love this. Okay, so Sinclair's question is, Vanessa, should you stop a live on Facebook if you're not seeing comments moving? Should you keep talking or stop and restart? So for me, I have people who will text me if something has gone terribly wrong. But if if you're just not seeing the comments, you may need to have another browser open. Facebook lately is having, so just for all of you, Facebook is having a lot of trouble with comments right now, especially in groups. So if you are having trouble seeing comments, just keep your phone open. Or if you're going live on your phone, keep a desktop or something else open. You may, if you only have one device, it might be a little bit challenging, but I would not recommend restarting because you're going to lose people every time you restart. So I would refresh if you can, or find a different browser. Okay, what else do we have? Alrighty. Why, Alina, I'm sorry, I don't really understand the question. Why should I use the private versus public to BeeLive? Can you give me a little bit more detail about that question? I'd love that. Thank you so much. Does BeeLive require using a laptop instead of a cell phone? No. By the way, Michelle, you are like wicked cool, like so cool. I can't even tell you. They now have a mobile app, so you can use the mobile app. Yeah, you can go live from anywhere now, just on your phone. Oh, look, I'm going live. Fabulous. Okay. I have trouble using my phone. My fingers, it's like I have fibro and like my fingers are a little like it just doesn't work right. I don't tend to use my phone for a lot, but I don't usually go live on my phone because I don't like using Facebook Live. So now that BeeLive does have the phone app, I am more likely to go live on my phone just because it's easier. And as like, I hated dealing with Facebook and the smallness of my phone and my hand and all those things. Now that it's just BeeLive, it's so much simpler because I can just go press the button. Love that. Oh my gosh, love that so much. All right. Dude, if anybody who wants to dismantle their business, come join the squad. Seriously, come dismantle your business with me. We'll dismantle it and put it right back up. Seriously, the stuff that we're going to have in the squad when we relaunch in September, we're starting our relaunch in August. Mind blowing. Like I rarely do. I'm not the sort of person who's like, here, let me pat myself on the back on how awesome, but seriously, this content is incredible. Like dismantling my business is one of the best things I've ever done. Dismantling and what's great is that when you dismantle your business, you have so many pieces that you can just reuse that you actually, what I've been doing is I've discovered that there's things that you can toss out. And there's things that you can like, oh, these are the things I'm going to keep. And these are things I'm going to toss out that I can then repurpose for content on my page. So now I don't have to create new content. Seriously, it's so much fun. You'll save time. You'll save money. Come join us, socialstrategysquad.com. You'll have the best time ever. Yes, let's dismantle it together. Oh, dude, Alina, you want to do a public live stream. I would do a public live stream if you're trying to grow. Okay. So if you're doing a private live stream just for yourself, like I've never used the private live stream with BeeLive. But if you're doing a live stream to like a few specific people, or you want it to be for a few specific people, then yeah, totally do private. But for live, to get the real traction that you're looking for, you're going to want to go live publicly. Is it okay if a customer tags a friend on your live in the comments? Yeah, but only if they do it of their own volition. So if you say to them, hey, everybody, tag your friends, that's bad. Bad. Because Facebook, I just said that word, my reach is about to drop, right? So you don't want to, and it's towards the end, so it's fine. But you definitely don't want to say that to get reach. But if, let's say you're watching me, Michelle, and you're like, oh my God, I love Vanessa. She's amazing. Jackie, you have to come watch her. Well, that's fine, right? Because I didn't ask for it. You were inspired to invite her because something I said struck you. Something I said connected with you. Something I said made you feel like your friend would like it. That's what Facebook is looking for. Facebook is not looking for shares. Facebook is not looking for tags. Facebook is looking for someone to find what you're doing of interest enough to on their own invite someone else to watch it without your intervention. So I don't ask for shares. If what I'm telling you is valuable, you will invite your friends on your own. Sometimes at the very end, I'll say, listen, look, you don't want people to miss out, especially if it's time sensitive, then I will say that because I don't want people to miss out. But if I'm just doing a regular sale or a regular, which I don't do a lot of those, I don't usually say go tag your friends, share with your friends, or that kind of thing, because you have to find what I'm saying helpful. You're not like, if I just tell you, hey, look, this is helpful, you're not going to believe me just for me to say, hey, it's helpful. You have to find it useful. Okay. The list of words, you just don't want to say tag, comment, share. That's really a tag, comment, like, share. Like you just don't want to, you let people do it sort of on their own. Oh my gosh, Lillian does the. That's so funny. I don't even know where I picked it up. It's just like, you guys are so sweet. What do I sell? I'm a coach. So I work with busy business owners, especially women. I specifically work with women to help them run successful, thriving online businesses without hustling. So many of us, and I'm going to sort of wrap up on this as we sort of finish up the day. Many of us, especially women, have a tendency to have a lot of things that we're doing, tons and tons of things that we're doing. And we're afraid to stop doing any of those things because that's how our business is like a Harry Wood, everything's balanced perfectly, right? And so we're afraid to stop doing things because we don't know which thing we stop doing. Is it going to break my business? But we also don't want to be doing all of the things. So what I train on is a system that basically gives you the 5 pillars that you need to get your business running. And then bam, after that, you only need to focus on your zone of genius. That's it. You create it. You have content already. You have and then you have your social media funnel all set up. Everything's ready. And now you focus on your zone of genius so that we end up working together really to discard a lot of the junk that we've accumulated over the years. Because I will be very real with every one of you. You've all got junk in your business. Every single one of you, myself included. We all have junk in our business. We all have things that we do in our business that we don't need to be doing. And it's sucking out our time like crazy. Like I cannot even begin to tell you how much time it's sucking out. I have a handout, actually. I recommend that you download this. It's free. Hustle Proof Your Life. You'll get 40% of your life back. I'm going to change that a little bit because it's way more. It's more time. I'm going to change it to be actual time that you get back, like 5 hours and 5 days, that kind of thing. But the key here is that this will help you to get rid of the 5 biggest time suckers in your life, and they're not what you think they are. Like I guarantee some of them are, but some of them aren't. And so what I like to do is I have everybody start with this. Like, don't start with this because you will automatically get hours of your day back. And once you've done that, you're going to want to come along for the rest of the ride with me anyway, just because you're going to have so much time. You're going to be like, dude, what do I do in this time? I have an idea. Come with me. All righty. Okay. Dude, come join us, Cindy. Come join us. It's fabulous. We have a lot about Oh, dude, do I talk about health issues? Do I talk about health issues? Yes, constantly. And the reason why is because we all run our businesses from a framework. Why did I hide your comment? I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. We all run our businesses from a framework, and the framework is who we are, right? So I, for example, am a dog mom, 3 dogs, married. I'm 44 years old. My birthday was the other day. I tend to hustle. Like my general default position is do, because I grew up with low self-esteem and tend to use work to validate my value, right? And so and that's why I don't want to hustle, because I am finding my value in other places. Like this is all important mindset stuff. I also have anxiety, depression, chronic migraine, fibromyalgia, IBS. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. There's one more, but I don't know what it is. PTSD. I was like, what is it? I was like, there's one more. What is it? PTSD. So I have all those things, and my life is governed by those things. There's days where I have flares. There's days where I have migraines. There's days where I have a panic attack. I have to run my business from that framework. I can't pretend that I don't have these things, right? And one of the hardest things I think for many business owners, especially women, again, is that we tend to try to ignore those things and just push through and push through and push through and push through. So the business that we've built is built off of pushing through the pain, pushing through the illness, pushing through all that. And that, honestly, that's awful. Like that is not how any of us want to live our lives, right? None of us wants to do that. So what I help is figuring out how to get more time in your day so that you can really take the rest that you need, take the time that you need when you're not feeling well. And do it knowing that it's fine, because your business is still running and it's still making money and it doesn't matter. That's what I do. So come join me. Come join me. Come join me in the squad. Monthly cost to join the squad. I would recommend signing up for the $29.99, which is the Squad Academy. However, we do have a $14.99 option. The details for what's available in each can be found at thesocialstrategysquad.com. I would love to have you guys join us, because I'll tell you, the reason why I signed up with BeeLive, the reason why I work with BeeLive, the reason why I'm an advocate for them is because they help me as somebody with chronic illness do better at my job, so I don't have to work quite so hard. That's why BeeLive is amazing. All righty, guys. So here's what I recommend. Carol, you collect them too. Come join us in the squad. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yes. Oh my God. All of you guys, come. Social Strategy Squad, come join us and we'll do all this stuff together. All right. You guys have been an amazing, amazing community to hang out with today. Thank you, Sophia. Check this out. Sophia, Squid for Life. All righty. That's why I have the squid. We're called the Squid Army. It's a very long story. And if you join, I'll show you the picture. There's a naughty picture that, that goes with the squid. All right, guys, you're fab. I'm going to be here in 2 weeks again, and we're going to be talking about, what are we talking about in 2 weeks? Let's see what's happening. All righty. I'm going to be here in 2 weeks. So mark your calendars. It's going to be on the 1st. Okay, so on the 1st, we are doing another live, and I really should have had this written down and ready, but look, I'm extending the live. Using the BeeLive scheduler to get even more viewers. Yes, this is exactly what I was talking about earlier with troubleshooting. So if you're having trouble getting viewers, mark your calendars. July 1st at 1 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to go live and we're going to talk about how to use the scheduling feature to get more people to show up on your lives. All right, you guys are fabulous. I hope to see all of you in the squad. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. See you in a couple of weeks.